Today is Monday, October 23rd. We're going to start this meeting by standing together to enjoy O Canada presented by the Smithville Christian High School. Thank you. So before beginning the meeting, I have a few announcements. The first one, comments from the public for a matter that is on the agenda may be provided in person by attending the meeting and advising the chair during the request to address an item on the agenda section of the agenda. For those individuals that are unable to attend the meeting in person, you may submit comments for matters that are on the agenda by either A, emailing J. Dyson, our clerk, at westlincoln.ca before 4:30 on the day of the meeting. Comments submitted will be considered as part of the public information and be read into the public record, or alternatively by contacting the clerk's department to request a Zoom link to attend the meeting virtually. Tonight's council meeting will be live streamed as well as recorded and available on the township's website by visiting events.westlincoln/meetings. And we'll begin our meeting with the land acknowledgement statement. The township of West Lincoln, being part of Niagara Region, is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Darrant, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The Township of West Lincoln, as part of the Regional Municipality of Niagara, stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. And Councillor Rayner, you have the opening petition this evening.
Yes, Madam Mayor. We gather to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens.
Thank you, councillors. Are there any changes in order of items on the agenda this evening? Okay. Seeing none. Under disclosure of pecuniary interest and or conflict of interest, we do have one from 5.1 of the October 16th, 2023 Administration, Finance, Fire Committee meeting under confidential matters. Item 12.1, re-citizen appointments on boards and committees. Councillor Riley declared a conflict of interest due to a family member applying to sit as a member on the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. And although he had a conflict, I will say I am very pleased that we have another member on our committee. The next item on the agenda is confidential matters. And Councillor Chichok, you have the resolution.
Moved by myself. Moved by myself. The next portion of this meeting be closed to the public to consider following pursuant to Section 239-2 of the Municipal Act 2001. 6.1, the Acting Fire Chief and CAO Bev Henry, Fire Station Building Number 2, deficiency list request from Council for information, applicable closed session exemptions, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, advice that is subject to the solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose.
Thank you. Would someone to second that, please? Counselor Braderick, thank you. All those in favor? I guess maybe you have that prepared, have you? Okay, thank you. So the vote will appear on your screen, if all goes well. Waiting for someone?
I support, so.
And Counselor Rayner? Okay,
Forgot to
so
push
you're
submit.
fine then, Madam Clerk? Okay, so that does carry, and we will then move into confidential. So again, Okay. So welcome back, everyone. Councillor Bell, you have a resolution to bring us back into open session, please.
Moved by myself, Councillor Bell, that this council now resume in open session at the hour of 7:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you. And someone to second that? Councillor Chichot? And vote should be on your screens. Okay, that resolution carries. Number 7 on our agenda is request to address items on the agenda, and we have no one in the gallery, although we do acknowledge that requests to address items on the agenda are restricted to specific items as follows per section 6.7 of the procedural bylaw. There shall be no comments from the public permitted at council unless a specific appointment has been scheduled or an item is included under the other business or communications or appointments section of the agenda and relates to a matter which would normally be dealt with at council. So I'm going to ask our IT help desk analyst if there's anyone online wishing to speak.
Not seeing any, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk, have you heard from anyone who wishes to take part? Or any correspondence that has come from anyone?
I have not, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And there are no appointments tonight, so Regional Councillor Witteveen, you are on for your remarks, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. So, glad to be back. It was a busy on the farm and many other things, so I wasn't here last month. So, here I am. So good evening, mayors, members of council, staff, and members of the public. I'd like to start this evening's update by sharing that the mayor, myself, and staff are working to prioritize capital projects for West Lincoln for the region's capital works budget that we are currently involved in. We know the needs to improve bridges, roads are very important to our community. We also see the work that's taking place on our regional roads here in West Lincoln, as some of these projects are coming to completion from last year's work. The mayor and I will work diligently to have these priorities met for next year's allocation of capital works projects. So at the same time as we work through the initial stages of the regional budget, we are very mindful of the pressures our residents face in these times of economic uncertainty. It's always a balance of providing the mandated services with the need to expand for growth and maintain our existing services that our residents are accustomed to. On the growth of the region, we are well aware of the targets that have been set for 2015, 694,000 people, a 43% increase to our current population levels. This will be a challenging task to say the least, but also this comes with opportunities to take part in lobbying to expand some of our co-op housing inventory and rent gear to income housing to create a balance of housing types in our community. We need to prepare for these types of opportunities within our communities. And I can guarantee the mayor and myself and staff will work hard to make sure we receive our fair share of this program. We look forward to keeping you updated on the progress. So on Public Works Committee, we were informed that the terms of reference for a transportation strategy were being drafted through the steering committee. The objective is to consolidate this steering committee to consolidate various modes of transportation, roads, rails, transit, walkways, multi-use path, and marine. This will be very comprehensive in nature and should offer insight for all municipalities as they develop strategies around this type of information and resources. So on another note, I'd like to touch on our child care program here in West Lincoln and to follow up on Councillor Braderick's question on how many students are enrolled in the ECE program here in Niagara. I again asked the question at Public Health meeting last month and just received a reply from Sandor Claire that Currently, Niagara College has confirmed that there are 120 students enrolled in the ECE program this term. This enrollment is a reflection of the pre-pandemic levels. Staffing challenges in the sector is not because of training students, but an issue of keeping them in the sector. And I think we understand some of the challenges of keeping them in the sector. So I hope this will help in understanding the challenges we face as parents try to make their way back to the workforce and dealing with childcare. So, and so again, this month we received at our public health meeting presentation on food affordability here in Niagara. In short, food insecurity requires income solutions from all layers of government. And it was quoted that the living wage now is $19.80 an hour. So that shows you where I think a year or two ago it was probably around $18. So that shows you the increased cost. So in short, food insecurity, okay, income does not reflect these, obviously people's incomes doesn't reflect these increases. Myself and Councillor Ip forwarded a resolution in requesting the province and federal governments to review the basic income strategy program again, so that those on social assistance have predictable incomes to live on. And there are many benefits to individuals to have a predictable income to live on. So just to give you an idea of the magnitude of this, in 2022, 20.7% of Niagara's population were food insecure. So it's quite a number. So yes, local community care and food banks are doing their best to help those most in need, but we need a longer-term solution. And at the same meeting, we reviewed starting up our temporary emergency shelters. As we all know, the weather will become colder and indoor refuge will be needed soon. So, and lastly, tonight I just wanted to touch on a new report that was released pertaining to a Niagara agriculture profile with data collected on December 22nd. And I recommend that councillors find the time to review this document as it views changes and trends in this sector, and you can find it at, it'll be in the package here, niagaracanada.com data reports. I think it'll be interesting to see what is happening here, and it's broken down into municipalities, so we can see strengths in in our sectors here. So it's I think it'd be good for planning or economic development and that type of information, because it's current 2022 information. So a lot of information we're looking at is statistical, which could be much older data. So, and I'm just going to put in one thing. So I've been receiving a couple phone calls on our automated speed cameras and explaining to people. So there's been some concerns, mostly around the fact that the signage is small and that it takes 30 days to realize that you've made a mistake. So I will be bringing those comments, as this is a pilot program, and as we move forward. So I think, the papers made it sound like if you drove 1 or 2 kilometers over that you would be an infraction, but most of the comments have been at 10 that I've received, that's the trigger point, which the third party determines. But once I explain, so feel free to, if anybody has any questions, to direct them to me. I don't mind explaining to them the program, and being the chair of Public Works, it helps me then, as we move this program forward, to, as I would say, make it fair for those driving. I know the signs are kind of small and sometimes hidden, and I think it should be fair to motorists, to those that may have missed the 90-day notice period and other things, that they'll catch that sign and it will be a reminder, because obviously the programs to change driver behavior, not to take money out of their wallet, but sometimes that's the trigger point. So if any residents need further explanation, I think I had a couple from bylaw that sent them individuals my way to explain about the program, because the one here on Station will end, I believe, the end of November, and then in the spring it will start over on Town Line Road. So again, thank you for allowing me to update you on the goings on here at the Niagara Region. So anybody has any questions, I'm gladly will respond. Thank you.
Well, we've already had indications from a couple of people. Our CAO, first of all, had a question that she wanted to ask, and Councillor Riley also has one.
Thank you, through you, Mayor, to Regional Councillor Woodavine. So that was the agriculture, the data that has come in. Was that what you were referring to in terms of the strengths?
Yeah, it's the Niagara Agriculture Profile,
Right.
put together by Blake Landry
Yes.
at the Niagara Region, yes.
So, inconsistent with our strat plan, and one of our goals is to provide information on that. Blake is going to help us write a profile that we can put on our website and then share. So, thanks very much. And then they're going to present here as well, either December or January. So my question was that what you're referring to?
Was that the
rather
same
than
one?
a comment, sorry.
Okay.
Perfect. I wasn't aware of that, so thank you for sharing that, and I will try to be here for that also.
And Councillor Riley?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple brief questions for the Regional Councillor. So through you to Regional Councillor Woodavine, thank you for all the information there and the explanation. My question to you is from one of the presentations you came to council speaking to the pilot project, you had at least suggested that there is going to be a grace period, and a lot of the complaints I heard regarding this happened around September 8th, seemed to be a popular day where a lot of people got dinged and they were not given grace. So I was just wondering through you, Madam Mayor, to the Regional Councillor, what happened to the grace period? Was that just a misunderstanding, or did something go wrong on the regional side that did not get implemented?
To my understanding, there was a 90-day notice period, and whether it was clear or not that there was going to be, we'll say, fake tickets handed out as a reminder 30 days prior, that definitely we'll have to follow up on whether that actually happened or not.
Okay.
I'm kind of believing that it didn't, that no one was issued a ticket, we'll say a friendly ticket saying you would have been ticketed. This was a reminder, and that was part of the concerns, was because it's a pilot program, it was new, people felt that some fair warning, but that being a pilot and still figuring out, and it's a vendor that actually, a third party that operates the automatic speed camera, not the region, and so that's where we're going to need some clarity on. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's where the scrutiny maybe needs to go, just because, again, a lot of people just making the adjustment to it were under that same impression, because that was the messaging that was coming out, yet they're very quick to be given a ticket. I guess my other question, unrelated to the speed cameras, is, so I just wanted to clarify my understanding. So I think you were talking about ECEs being paid $19 and some odd cents extra, or was that something else? What did I miss there?
That's a living wage.
That's the living wage. So that has nothing to do with that. Okay, so then ignore that, because I was trying to get an understanding of how they were only being paid $3 an hour above minimum wage when they have to get 2 years of schooling. So I thought that was quite ridiculous, but I'm glad to be.
And in fact, I made note living
Okay.
wage amount on my paper.
Perfect.
So
Appreciate
I know
that.
that was just something misheard.
So just quickly to clarify that, Councillor Riley, that is part of the problem with the ECE program, is that that qualified people are not being remunerated for retention. I have a niece that's an ECE teacher, and it's very difficult to live on that wage. So most of the ECE teachers are drawn towards employment through the region, which offers a better employment package. And there was discussion of that from the province to step up and to, make that job, I guess, pay individuals for that's relative to the education and the services. And it was a fairly low-paying job, and that was some of the challenges. So, we all, you may have the qualifications, but if you can do something else and make more money, then it's about that. So addressing some of those challenges as we go along, and so wanted to just fill you in on that.
Okay, thank you. I'll just point out, before we let Regional Councillor go, that in the discussion that was being held at Public Works at the region, there was a lot of discussion, obviously, about food insecurity. But I wasn't at that meeting. I don't sit on that committee, but I always listen in to the meeting, and I certainly peruse the minutes. But I hadn't had an opportunity to thank Councillor Witteveen for raising the point that a lot of communities, like ours, also are doing an excellent job through the courtesy of businesses and residents in terms of using West Lincoln Community Care to provide some of that. In fact, we have people here who live outside of our area who wish that they could go to West Lincoln Community Care as opposed to some other food banks because of the services and the amounts that are being offered here. And that, of course, is through the generosity of the people who live here and the businesses that operate here. So I really appreciated sitting on the sidelines listening to the fact that you raised that point. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you then, Councillor Witteveen. So we'll move to item number 10, which is confirmation of minutes. And Councillor Riley, you have the public meeting under the Planning Act, the minutes of October 10th, 2023.
I do, Madam Chair. I just need clarification through you to the clerk. Since I was unable to attend that public meeting, am I still to read the minutes? Is that still acceptable?
I saw that too, and the last time that question was asked, and I'm not going to presume to speak for the clerk, it had to be, you were just verifying that those were the minutes, but is that...
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Riley, yes, that is true. We are just ratifying that the minutes are what they say they are. If you feel more comfortable getting a different mover, we can definitely change that, though.
I don't mind reading it. I just want to make sure this isn't, I know under the Planning Act, there's certain rules and criteria, and I certainly don't want to open up the municipality to any vulnerability as a result of any misunderstanding. So if you're saying we're in the clear, then I don't mind reading it. But if you, as council as a whole, would rather have somebody who was at that meeting to confirm those minutes, then I'm fine with that too. Maybe maybe this could be a good thing for the vice chair who was able to attend in my absence.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention, actually. I think I would feel more comfortable having a different mover in this situation. Yes, thank you.
Councillor Bell, are you following that? Do you see where we are? Would you be able to read that resolution, please? Thank you, Councillor Riley.
Moved by myself, Councillor Bell, that the minutes of the public meeting held October 10th, 2023 under Section 34 of the Planning Act with respect to the Township of West Lincoln Housekeeping Amendments Number 7 be accepted.
And someone to second those, please? Councillor Chichok, thank you.
So one last question, Madam Mayor. I see the vote before. I think I will refrain from voting as
also?
well, even though it's in front of me, so I know we don't really have an abstain, but if you can remove me from the voting just on the side of caution, that'd be great.
That's wise. Thank you. Everybody else needs to vote, please.
It will come up as a no because there's no
Okay, and that resolution carries. And we move on to 10.2, which are the council minutes, the regular minutes of the September 25th, 2023 meeting. And Councillor Rayner, you have that resolution.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Move by myself that the minutes of September 25th, 2023 council meeting be accepted.
Thank you. And Councillor Trombetta, will you second those, please? And that vote will be before you shortly, and it's there. Not loud enough? Okay, thank you. Okay, and that resolution carries. Thank you. So item number 11 is communications, and I want to just say a little bit about that for a minute. 11.1 is the declaration of intimate partner violence as an epidemic. So this came, first of all, it's come from several directions to us, but this first of all came from the Niagara region, who did somebody put forward a motion, and it was carried at the region, respecting the recommendations from the Renfrew County Inquest and Declaration of Intimate Partner Violence as an Epidemic. So this is moving, as you perhaps know if you've seen the newspaper, throughout our province, and various municipalities are coming on board with this. Councillor Bradrick, you have a very long resolution again, but I do thank you for taking that on. This is particularly important right now in West Lincoln, as a family in our area was recently affected by this, as you'll know from the news. So, Councillor Bradrick, would you go, please?
Thank you. It's my honor to have this motion. Moved by myself that, one, the correspondence received from the Regional Municipality of Niagara regarding the motion respecting recommendations from the Renfrew County Inquest and Declaration of Intimate Partner Violence as an Epidemic, as attached as Schedule A, be received and supported, and two, that the Township of West Lincoln recognize the issues of gender-based violence and intimate partner violence in Niagara as serious to the health and wellness of local residents and their families, and three, that the Township of West Lincoln commit to engaging with the community partners to educate and support our residents about the seriousness and long-term danger of violence in our communities, and four, that the Township of West Lincoln declare, in accordance with the recommendation number 5 of the Niagara Region request, that intimate partner violence and gender-based violence are an epidemic, and 5, that a copy of this motion be sent to each of Niagara's 12 local area municipalities. The Honorable R.F. Virani, Minister of Justice, the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honorable Charmaine A. Williams, Associate Minister, Women's Social and Economic Opportunity, the Honorable Parm Gill, Minister of Red Tape Reduction, Niagara's 4 MPs, Niagara's 4 MPPs, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMO, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, FCM, mayors and regional chairs of Ontario, MARCO, and Ontario's big city mayors, OBCM.
Thank you. And someone to second it. Councillor Riley, thank you. All right, are there any questions or comments about this resolution? It's pretty matter of fact. I think there was a special request went out to all of the 12 area municipalities after this came forward, but especially was repeated again after last week. So that is an issue. So I guess we're ready then for a vote if there are no further questions or comments. Thank you, councillors. That resolution fully carries. Okay, and that takes me to the mayor's remarks for the October 23rd council meeting. Since our last council meeting on September 25th, I've had the honor on September 29th of raising the flag in West Lincoln in recognition of Every Child Matters, also referred to as Orange Shirt Day, which was marking its 10th anniversary. September 30th is now also the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, so both were referenced at the raising of this flag. I was also very happy to celebrate longtime resident Frances Lane's 90th birthday on September 29th, and to present her with a certificate from the township marking this special occasion. You may have seen on Facebook her delighted smile as that occurred, and her friends posted it. September 29th and 30th were also Harvest Roots in West Lincoln, where many residents were able to enjoy the various workshops that were offered as part of that celebration. John and I actually signed up for and enjoyed, he was the only man there, the watering can workshop on the Saturday afternoon of this event. I would like to offer a special thanks to our recreation staff for the hard work done in both planning and running Harvest Roots for our residents. People certainly look forward to it from one year to the next. Sometimes residents or even members of council wonder if anything good ever comes out of our attendance at Roma or AMO. I am happy to report that as a follow-up to our delegation and additional discussions with Enbridge at AMO in August, we were able to put together a meeting in our township office on October 4th with 3 Enbridge representatives to discuss with them, A, the fact that gas needs in our industrial park are not currently being met, B, inform them of our short-term needs, particularly in the northwest quadrant, and also C, provide them with knowledge of our expected long-term growth in our urban boundary expansion areas to ensure that Enbridge's long-term plans take those issues into account. The short-term results of that meeting that included Senior Planner Susan Smythe and Public Works Director Mike DePaula was that Susan was able to send the appropriate mapping to Enbridge so as to meet their needs, and we were also able to connect the appropriate Enbridge staff with officials at Standpat for further discussion among themselves regarding gas needs. On Saturday evening, October 14th, I was pleased on behalf of the Township and Council, and additionally offer a certificate of appreciation for their community involvement to the Smithville Christian Reformed Church on the occasion of their 50th anniversary. John and I also attended their worship and celebration service on Sunday, October 15th, at which they continue to mark this special 50th anniversary. On Thursday, October 19th, Councillors Riley, Trombetta, Chichok, and I attended the West Lincoln Chamber's Annual Business Awards, where I had the privilege of presenting the Community Impact Nonprofit Award to Jeff McKillop Mental Health. Councillor Chichok, as Council Liaison to the Chamber, presented the Farm-Related Business Award to Boyle Tractor. That same evening, MP Dean Allison and I left that chamber event for a short period of time so as to also be able to offer congratulations to Cairn Christian School at the ribbon-cutting ceremony for their wonderful new school addition. Michael Zweep from MPP Osterhoff's office joined us as well for both of those events. Friday, October 20th, was the senior seminar organized by the West Lincoln Age Friendly Advisory Committee. This event was attended by just over 50 older adults who came out to enjoy some social time together and also learn about protecting themselves and their family members in 3 different ways. Fire safety for older adults was presented by our Fire Department Public Education Officer, Tamara Clark. Scam protection in the Niagara region was presented by 2 representatives of the Niagara Regional Police, Detective Karina Ferretti and Detective Constable Amanda Sanders. The third part of the morning was related to end-of-life preparations and was presented by Drew Gaucher, owner, funeral director of Merritt Funeral Home. Councillor Bell, as the council liaison to this committee, and I each played only a small role in this event as the 3 citizen co-chairs of the committee, Deb Thomas, Kitty McGrail, and John Gannan, each introduced and thanked our speakers. I would also like to thank all who were involved in this event, including Executive Assistant Jackie Thrower, who helped immensely with setup and also looked after the food component of this event. This past Saturday morning, I had the honor as mayor to welcome and offer a small token gift to MPP Stancho, the Minister of Long-Term Care, who at the invitation of MPP Osterhoff and riding President Tony Josie attended the breakfast and local PC riding AGM at the Smithville Legion. It was a good opportunity to point out to the minister that West Lincoln is in need of long-term care within our municipality. I also, sadly, as mayor, represented our township at the Family in EMS funeral service for paramedic Cheryl Kazarchuk, who died last week under terrible circumstances. Although no longer living here, Cheryl was born and raised in West Lincoln. Many West Lincoln longtime friends and acquaintances of the Kazarchuk family, parents Rick and Bonnie, sisters Cinnamon and Jody, have this local family in their thoughts and prayers at this time. And that's the end of my October remarks. So we'll move then to number 13, which is report of committee. Planning, Building, Environmental Committee, minutes of October 10th, 2023. Councillor Riley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes of the October 10th, 2023 Planning, Building, Environmental Committee meeting be accepted, and that the recommendations contained therein be approved, with the exception of items, and currently there is none.
Okay, someone to second that, please? Councillor Bell, thank you. Any questions or comments about those minutes? All right, we're ready, Madam Clerk. Okay, that resolution carries. And we move to 13.2, Public Works and Recreation Committee. Read the minutes of October 16th, 2023. Councillor Rayner, you have that resolution, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes of October 16, 2023 Public Works and Recreation Committee be accepted, and the recommendations contained therein be approved with the exceptions of item number, and there is none at this time.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second those minutes, please? Councillor Riley, thank you. Any questions or comments about those minutes? All right. Madam Clerk? Okay, and that resolution also carries. Moving on to 13.3, Administration, Finance, Fire Committee. Read the minutes of October 16th, 2023. This is the item for which Councillor Riley declared a conflict on regarding a family member who was due to be appointed to the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. I think I've already commented on that. Councillor Riley had a conflict, but I'm very pleased to have a new member on the committee. And so, Councillor Trombetta, you have those minutes, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes of the October 16, 2023 Administration Building Environmental Committee meeting be accepted and the recommendations contained therein being approved, the exceptions of, and I'm not seeing any, and that the confidential minutes relating to the closed session portion of the October 16, 2023 Administration Fire Finance Committee meeting be accepted, and that the minutes remain confidential and restricted from the public disclosure in accordance with Section 239 of the Municipal Act.
Okay, thank you. We need someone to
Is
second.
there something else?
Yeah.
What's up?
Councillor Braderick, thank you.
Sorry, through you, Mayor Ganan, to the rest of council, just to let you know that once this motion pulls up, I will amend that to say Administration, Finance, and Fire.
Instead of Environmental Committee? That was a little odd in there. I did
It was
notice
a
that.
little
but
odd, but I...
We knew what was going on.
Yes, thank you. I was just
So you will fix that? Thank you, Madam Clerk.
right now before anything.
Okay, so it's there, and then it will come up properly on the screen? Is that what
I do
you're
have a
telling me?
question, Madam Mayor, and I think I know the answer to this, but I can vote on this just because I'm just voting in recognition of what's already been stated here, right? It's just, it's not something that has to be pulled separately?
Absolutely, yeah.
Perfect, that's all.
And you clearly had a conflict that you declared at
Yes.
the beginning of the meeting.
I didn't participate in and stuff like that.
And this has nothing to, yeah, so
Just
you're
want to
good.
make sure it's just
Absolutely.
supporting exactly how it's written.
Okay, so are we ready then? Okay.
That's finished. Oh, sorry.
Okay, thank you, that carries. We have nothing to reconsider tonight. We have no motion to rescind anything. Our tabled item remains tabled for a period of time, and so that takes us to 16.2 consent agenda items. And Councillor Chichok, you have that resolution, please.
The council hereby approves the following consent agenda items. That council hereby approves the following consent agenda items, items 1 and 2B, and are hereby received for information, and item 3B, and is hereby received, and the recommendations contained therein be adopted, with the exception of no items at this point, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So someone to second? Councillor Bell, thank you. Are there, it's consent, nothing to discuss. So that we can, nobody's pulling? Okay, so we're good then to have the vote in front of us. And that also carries. So 16.3 is for members of council to make remarks, and so I will go around. Councillor Bell, anything that you wish to say this evening? Okay, Councillor Bradford.
You captured everything, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Trombetta. Madam Clerk, anything you want to say? No, nothing, you're shaking your head? Okay, Councillor Riley.
I'll just make a brief comment. You kind of already highlighted it with the chamber there, but it was a really great evening to celebrate the businesses and the successes and those who were nominated and those who weren't nominated. You're all still recognized in the same opportunity there, so it was nice to see the community come together and support all the great things our local businesses, organizations, profit, not-for-profit, you name it, farming community do. So I thought it was a really wonderful evening. I enjoyed myself, and the other councillors, so that's all to report
I
on.
was very pleased, as I said in my remarks, that 4 of us were there. It was great.
Yeah,
nice
it was
to see.
wonderful.
Okay, so Councillor Chichok, if you have nothing, I'm hoping that you will perhaps mention this Thursday. I left that out on purpose.
Now, Your Worship, I was just going to follow on Councillor Riley's comment about how you do such a good job and others, and you steal all our thunder. But thank you very much for putting a comprehensive list of things that happened, and including everyone that was participant in the events. But yes, actually, at 6:30 this Thursday at the library boardroom in our recreation center here in Smithville, there will be an event to recognize those people who are recipients of our town awards. Something we're bringing back for the first time in a long time. And we hope that as many as possible can come out and enjoy a moment of some tea and coffee and some desserts, and to congratulate our winners.
Thank you, thank you. And, you know, we're trying, of course, to get the message out that members of the public are invited, so hopefully people will drop by and help us celebrate those people. Well, thank you. Councilor Rayner.
Just one thing for the general public. The weather has been great the last little while, and the combines are really working the fields, especially around the Caister area, and there is a lot of tractors and wagons on the roads out there. And I know people tend to go a little bit fast, but these vehicles can't. So just to be aware of the fact that in the next week or so, it's probably going to end, but it's been pretty crazy the last couple of weeks, and there's grain wagons going like crazy. And if you go down 20 Road, down by Mossbros Farms with the big granaries, there are tractors going in there practically every minute.
It's been very busy
To get
everywhere,
weighed
for
up,
sure.
to get the grain dried, to get everything else. So it's a really busy time for agriculture right now. So you have to really be careful, because if you're driving a little more than the speed limit, it only takes a couple seconds, and the next thing you know, you're right behind this wagon, and you may not have time to stop. And a lot of these wagons, even though they got lights on them, sometimes they don't always work. And these combine workers especially, they like to finish the field, especially if the next day is going to rain. So they could be out there till 1 o'clock in the morning. So there could be tractors going down this road in pitch dark. So it's just a time to be cautious. That's all I'm suggesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, so unless someone has a new item of business that they were hoping to bring up tonight, I don't see anything. And so, Councillor Bell, you have the bylaws this evening.
Madam Mayor, I believe that this should be my fellow councilor's item, because it's very long and she gets
Oh,
the
you-
long ones.
You think that Councillor Bradrick should have had it?
I'm sure Shelley.
More than happy to do it, please, Mary.
Moved by myself, Councilor Bell. One, that leave be granted to introduce bylaw number 2023-72-2023-73, 2023-3-74, 2023-75, 2023-76, 2023-77, and that the same shall be considered to have been read first, second, and third time with one reading and hereby adopted. And 2, that the mayor and the clerk be and hereby authorized to sign the fixed corporate seal. Therefore, any rule of this council to contrary notwithstanding.
Thank you. Councillor Bradrick, would you like to second that? Thank you. And the vote for bylaws is in front of you. And that resolution carries, and so that brings the work of this evening to a conclusion, and I will declare the meeting adjourned at the hour of 8:08.